I wanted to start this artist talk with this performance to wake you up, to draw your attention, and to also get emotional connection with you. If you don't have any emotional connection to the place where there is trouble, it's very difficult to understand the issue. Think if you have a friend that lives in a country somewhere, not in the country where you're living, it's easier for you to relate, to understand the culture, and it's easier for you to understand if he or she is sharing something with you. So this is what I wanted to do today. I want you to learn about Belarus, but I also want you to feel for Belarus. It's easier for us when we connect to do something. So today, if you feel that you can post something on social media, in your Instagram stories, tag us, tag and draw more attention to the issues, political issues that are happening now in Belarus. You can talk to your local politicians, you can maybe talk to journalists that can write more, because the more people talk about Belarus, the sooner the problems will be solved. My name is Olya Tsikhanchuk. I'm born in Belarus. I was born in Belarus in 1987, and I moved in Finland in 2013. I have my first degree in linguistics and pedagogy, and I had been working as an English teacher for 9 years before I got my second degree in graphic design from Novia in Jakobstad in Finland in May 2020. Now I work as a freelancer. I work with illustrations for magazines and books, but mostly I'm working with fashion, kids fashion, with prints and textile design. I believe in art, I believe in self-development, I believe in being kind over being right. I believe that every one of us carries the responsibility for everything that happens in this world. And this is why I'm here today. We as artists have no right to be neutral or indifferent to everything that happens in this world. It doesn't matter whether you're a commercial artist and realize it's someone else's idea and you need to work with a customer and you need to check if this customer has the right values, or you are a free artist and do whatever you want to do according to your style and to your thought. We artists draw inspiration from the world, and it's our duty to also give back to this world, to give back from what we take. Artists' role is to make this world into a better, more beautiful, more free world where everybody can be themselves and fulfill their own potential. We artists must raise questions. We must draw attention to the issues beyond daily routine. And we must make people open their eyes and see the world beyond their comfortable lives, and we must make people choose kindness over discomfort. My life in Finland is very comfortable. I have a healthy family, I have a warm home, and I have a job where I can be myself and I have the freedom of doing what I want. But I'm not comfortable in this comfort today. My heart is with my schoolmates, with my relatives, with my friends, my former colleagues who are today suffering the life of despair in Belarus. The people of Belarus finally rose against this monstrous dictatorship that has been in power and choking them for 26 years. And they rose with kindness. Let me go back in time and give you some historical facts and dates, just so that you understand the background of the issue a little bit better. In 1920, the Soviet Union was officially established. Joseph Stalin was in power from 1929 to 1953 when he died. And he transformed the country from peasant agricultural society into a military and industrial power. Greater Terror was Stalin's campaign to eliminate everybody who was of his opposition. And at least 750,000 people died after this or during this campaign. 1946, right after the Second World War, the Cold War started. Nuclear arms race, space race, and the spread of communism in Asia and in Middle and Near East. 1985, Gorbachev comes to power, and with him comes perestroika, the change in the economy, and glasnost, the openness. In 1990, he is elected the president. And the same year, he wins Nobel Peace Prize for supposedly bringing Cold War to its peaceful end. There is hope. 1990, the Belarusian language becomes the official language of the Republic of Belarus. The Soviet Union collapses in 1991. The Soviet flag and coat of arms are changed with national symbols, white, red, white flag, and the knight in pursuit emblem. And the name of the state is changed to the Republic of Belarus. There is hope. July the 10th, 1994, Lukashenko becomes the first president of now independent Republic of Belarus. Is there hope? In 1995, Lukashenko organizes a referendum asking Belarusians to approve his policy of integration, close integration with Russia, bringing the Russian language, one of the official languages of the Republic, alongside the Belarusian language, and also referendum to replace the national symbols with those that resemble the Soviet symbols. Is there hope? The era of elimination of opponents, disappearance of journalists and correspondents, falsified elections of 2001, 2006, 2010, 2014 starts. There is no hope. 2020, the year of awakening. 26 years of living with fear on the biological level comes to its logical end. The people had enough. Stronger leaders appeared. Leaders that led by example, leaders that could speak to the heart of the people, leaders who knew laws well, and leaders who were breath of fresh air, glimpse of hope, the light at the end of the tunnel. Babarika, Tsepkala, Tikhanovsky, they all related to people. They all spoke the same language as common people did. Tikhanovsky and Babarika now are one of the 169 political prisoners. They are being detained on the crimes, based on the crimes that they never committed. The wife of Tikhanovsky steps in. She runs for presidency, and Lukashenko overlooks her candidacy, of course, because he has no respect for women, so he doesn't see her at all as a threat to his win. And again, August 2020, the elections are being falsified. Lukashenko wins with 80%, an unspoken amount that no president in the world can win. Unbelievable number. On the 9th of August, the day of the election, people queued to express their vote, to express their desire of change. A lot of people stood in the lines the whole day to sign the paper on the day of the election, not before, on pre-elections day. People had white armrests to also signify who they are voting for, that they are voting for New Belarus. People also found out a way how to fold the paper. Instead of folding into just a simple way and put it in the voting bin, they folded it pleat-wise, so you can also see immediately visually how many people voted for presumably a new president. The votes are counted, as I said, 80%, Lukashenko wins, and people go in the streets. On the 9th of August in the evening, everybody in Minsk and in small and bigger cities, those who voted against Lukashenko went into the streets and peacefully wanted to ask him to leave because they had all the evidence to prove that the elections were falsified. And this was the breaking point. The unspeakable and unseen yet cruelty from the police and special OMON forces and military started. It was inhumane. These first 3 nights, in August, the 9th, the 10th and the 11th of August, were so horrible that it broke everybody's heart. There was no internet and very bad telephone connection, so it was very hard to connect to the rest of the world and tell the story immediately. Tell the story of tortures, illegal detention, and how people suffered in overcrowded prisons. These nights turned the lives of Belarusians, including mine, upside down. You may have seen or read something in the news, and when the news got quiet, hopefully you followed some events. There has been 6 months of daily protest. It started with the demonstrations, peaceful demonstration in the streets, and grew into a daily protest that everybody does a little thing. On Mondays, there are pensioners that walk the streets and express their fear of violence that's happening, and they call for action from the world, that the political prisoners can be freed and that young people can express freely their will. On Tuesdays, there used to be a day where people with disabilities walked across the city to demonstrate their will. Saturdays were the days where women stood in solidarity chains and asked for no violence and no more blood. And on Sundays, everybody could join in the protest and express their will. Small daily actions, that's what people do now. During these months of protest, there was not a single shop that was looted or a single car that was destroyed by the protestants. Artworks appeared in the neighborhoods and they were decorated with white and red ribbons. And the artworks on the wall, take it as a funny joke, which is not funny, but were repainted by the authorities. Maybe even 30 times one piece of art. So people draw it, the authorities paint over it. In the morning, people draw it again. The authorities have nothing else to do but to paint over it again. But people never forget. The works come back and back. I can speak about these protests forever, and there are so many things that can be said. Unfortunately, we have a press for time, so maybe I just choose some things that I mention. And maybe also some aspects that I painted on the walls here in white box. I wanted to paint the artworks in the easy form so that everybody could relate and understand and remember better. I wanted you to remember such names as Maxim Znak, who is a renowned world-class lawyer who is now in prison and is one of the political prisoners. A man who sacrificed his freedom for the freedom of New Belarus. I wanted you to remember the cat faces that signify the peaceful people that protest and express their will of new, better Belarus, better country. And despite that they being beaten or being put in prison, they still respond with no violence. They protest in a peaceful way. They walk in solidarity marches. They sign open letters and petitions. They try to post on social media to bring awareness to the issue. They support Belarusians in every possible way. There are many funds that have started to economically support those who lost their jobs because of their political views. The families that I need can get support from others who have it better with food and other things that they need. I can go on. There are many acts of kindness, and it brings me great happiness to see that when illegal government is responding to the protest with extreme cruelty and violence, the people just respond with more and more kindness. I wanted you to remember Yiva and what she signifies, the symbol of women protest. Our women have always been known to be beautiful, but I'm so glad to see that now that we can see women beyond their beauty. They're smart, selfless and kind. On the 12th of August in 2020, right after the 3 nights of extreme cruelty, 250 women stood in the center of Minsk dressed in white, having flowers in their hands, and sang national songs and lullabies, asking the police and the military men to stop the violence. More and more women joined during the day. Thousands of women have participated in the protest. Old, young, pregnant, with children, everybody stood there to express their will of peaceful change. And to mention the women of the movement, I must also mention Maria Kolesnikova. Maria Kolesnikova has been forced by a KGB agent to exile and to flee the country, but she tore her passport in pieces on the border, knowing that she will be put to prison with the crimes, charged with the crimes that she never committed. And today my red lipstick is not at all a part of my style. It is also a peaceful protest that people have nowadays, that women have nowadays. Maria Kolesnikova loves red lipstick, and it's also a part of our daily action to express our will for peaceful change. Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, the elected president, a housewife who stepped into this presidential race after her husband has been in prison. She never wanted to be a part of it, but she had no choice because she was kind and she loved her husband, she loved her children, and she loved her country. And look at her now. She is the leader that Belarus has dreamt of. She is kind, she is human, she is relatable, she can speak to world leaders, she can represent the country the way we want to be represented. I'm very passionate to talk about Belarus, and I'm so excited for so many positive things that are happening there, despite all the negativity, despite all the cruelty. And this is what this opportunity to do this wall art in white box is also for me. It's a positive change. It's a little thing that everybody does now around the world to support Belarus. The process of drawing this wall art was like a diary for me. I changed the work, I changed the thinking. It was a lot of thinking about Belarus and talking to my friends back there and how they were grateful that in every country in the world, including now Finland, in sort of a small city of Jakobstad, something is happening, and awareness is happening. The focus is not at all on my art or on my style. The focus is on Belarus and the processes that are ongoing there, and their impact on individuals and also on the whole world. The purpose of this exhibition is to inform you about Belarus, to tell the story of my country, and to also show you the example of how people peacefully can stand for their human rights, their basic human rights. I also want to believe that this exhibition is a positive view into the future, yet unseen in Belarus, the future, the positive future that this country has. And Belarus will step into this bright future. Yes, a little bit broken, yes, in pain, but with dignity and with pride. And Belarus has a bleeding heart, but there is no regret in that, because Belarus once chose kindness.